Hey guys, so today's video I'm going to talk a little bit about just personalizing and setting up your PC from the very beginning when you first get one. I am not a professional about anything when it comes to PCs, but I did a lot of research and I consider myself relatively tech savvy. I wouldn't call myself an expert or anything, but I think I know enough that for any casual standard technological question, I could probably answer it pretty confidently, or if nothing else, be able to find the answer very quickly. So what I'm talking about is the reason I'm talking about this is because my computer showed up today. The tower for my computer, because for the layman, a desktop computer has two major pieces, which is the tower, which is like the brains of the computer, and then the monitors, which is the actual screen that you look at for the computer. I have the tower. I hooked it up to a TV I had in my dorm room just to start prepping it and everything. I'm not going to use a TV monitor as my main computer monitor because it would be a little wacky. But it works for the case of just setting up everything on the PC. And I'm not ready to show you guys how the PC looks and everything yet, just because I don't have those monitors and I want to show the full setup once it's done, but it really does look absolutely amazing. I've never had a nice computer, really a nice anything. So it's nice to really I'm glad I spent the money to really go out and get myself something that is really nice that I really enjoy. Along with that, I've also started to throw a little money into things for my computer that I know I'll enjoy. For example, even though the new Madden game's coming out in August, the current Madden game is on sale for $17 or something like that, or $18, something along those lines. And I figured even if I only get to play it for 2 months, really, I'm guessing it'll be probably around that 2 months, June, July, could be most of August even, so 3 months, whatever. It'll be well worth the $20 to have that entertainment for these next couple months and next couple weeks specifically. I've also went on to eBay and bought myself an Xbox One S controller, which is Bluetooth enabled. It'll be able to hook up to my PC real easily. Hopefully, that is. I got it for real cheap on eBay, which is kind of a pro tip. I'm not usually a big eBay person because I don't like the idea of buying used things, but you can go on eBay and buy things that are new, set different price caps, and for things like that, these outdated electronics or not top of the line electronics or electronics in general, really, eBay is just a great place to go because for some reason people get things in bulk and sell them at really low prices. I guess I should wait to talk about this till after I actually receive the controller and make sure it works and all that, but nevertheless, it was $16 for me to get it, so I'm not really too worried about it. And none of this is really what I meant to talk about in this video, so I guess it's going to turn into a longer video. What I wanted to talk about is more the personalizing your actual PC, which is beyond just like setting a wallpaper for yourself and downloading Google Chrome so you have your preferred web browser. Although downloading Google Chrome as your preferred web browser should be one of the very first steps you do, because the rest of the process is going to be downloading other apps and programs from online to your computer, and it's a lot easier to do that in Google Chrome, at least in my opinion. And ultimately, for most people, if you Google real quick programs you should have on your new desktop or new computer or whatever, you could get a pretty detailed, good enough list of the things you should be downloading on your computer. Most of it's just reminders, things. There's nothing super duper crucial. There's a lot of little things I added to mine because it's a gaming computer and stuff, like a thing where I could look at my stats for the temperature of the CPU and things like that, fan speeds, all of that. But for the average person, all you really need is your web browser and Microsoft Office, things like that. The other thing I really spend a lot of time on, and this is something I do for all electronics, is whenever I have a new electronic, I go through every single setting that's available and see if it's how I want it. And I know that sounds absolutely absurd and it takes a lot of time, but for me, it's usually well worth it because there's enough settings that I like to change that if I didn't go through it section by section and look at every setting, I would have things fall through the cracks and I would be kicking myself later that I didn't think of it earlier. Usually they aren't a big deal, but in some cases, like a big one for Computers is just setting your default PDF and web browser and all that to be whatever you want. For me, like for example, for PDFs, if you get a new Windows computer, it's going to automatically open PDFs in Microsoft Edge, which is never really the preferred way you want to do things. Usually you want to use Adobe Reader, one of those kind of PDF readers. So that's just one little example. I didn't really come up with a good list of the things I wanted to go through. But yeah, another big thing is when you first get a new computer, usually you're going to have to run a Windows update. Even though it's brand new, the time that the Windows program has been sitting unused since it was first created could mean that it's behind on updates, which was the example for my computer. I had 10 updates it needed to do before anything. So realistically, that should be your very first step, is looking for those updates, because it makes the rest of the process a lot easier. I made the mistake of doing the updates at the end and ended up having to click through a bunch of warnings about firewall safety protection type of stuff that I trusted the sites I was getting my information from, so I wasn't too worried about that aspect of it. But for someone that's not used to this kind of thing, you definitely want those firewalls up and virus protection and all of that. Otherwise, I think that's all I'm going to talk about in this video, because I don't want this to be crazy long. Pretty soon you guys will definitely be getting a good tour of what my computer looks like. The only thing I won't have whenever I do that tour is probably going to end up being a webcam. Everything else I pretty much think I'm going to be set to go with my computer, because as far as sound and mics and all that go, I'm planning on just using my Bose headphones that you guys have seen me wear before. And yeah, I think that's just about it. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode.